Sometimes back, his nudes were all over in Kilimani Moms. And I even ensured that those photos were pulled down. While he was at home, I was here in Nairobi looking for that lady who posted those photos. That's the much I loved him. That's the much I protected his image. I don't think that I'll get married again. But for him, can get married, he can have 100 kids. For me, I just want to see my children. I want to guide my children. I feel for my girl. What kind of woman is she going to be when she will grow up? I feel for my boys. What kind of husbands are they going to be when they grow up? Laws aside, when we are Christians, does it mean for 18 years I did not contribute anything in his life? Then indeed, if I did not contribute anything, let him give me my children. My prayer is to see my children before I leave this world. Even if it's for 2 minutes, I want to see my children. I want to see my children. My name is Gladys Gesare. I'm 41 years old, a mother of 4, 3 biological and 1 adopted. Gladys was married for 18 years, divorced within 3 months, and everything was taken from her, including her own children. I must say for 18 years, I enjoyed the marriage life. As much as there were ups and downs, the Bible reminds us it's for better and for worse. And I always protected my marriage. And because of this, God heard our prayers. He answered us and showered us with blessings that after the struggle, eventually we had our own company. After 6 years of struggle, we had a lot of money, and it's because of this money my marriage sank. The first 6 years of marriage, he took me to college. I trained as a nurse aide and graduated. From there, we moved to Nairobi. We stayed at Mathare North. I was working in a hospital. I was working in a certain company. And since he realized that I'm capable of doing other things apart from nursing, he introduced me into marketing. He trained me, and I became a good marketer. 2010, I got another job in a marketing agency. And after some little savings, I opted to go back to our rural home in Kisii so that we can buy a piece of land, of which I did, and it was successful. After a few months, I started building, and I resigned from my job. 2011, he started a family company whereby I was a partner. I believe, since he was my husband and I the wife, mother of his 2 children, so I was part of the company. I worked in this company tirelessly, recruiting and training people for promotions and merchandising. I was the regional manager, covering North Rift, South Rift, Western, and Nyanza. Now by this time we had 2 children, and they were about to go to school. I mean, my son had already started school. And since we felt like Nairobi is the best place for our kids' background education, we agreed that let him stay with the children while I handle business back at home. So he stayed with the children, but I could visit my kids every weekend. Every weekend I was in Nairobi, or anytime need arises, I was there for my children. 2017, I adopted another daughter, may she rest in peace, Vena, who was ailing from cancer. I struggled with her for 5 years, but eventually she died, and she left me with her 2 daughters. But the daughters currently are with their relatives. 2018, I saw a clip on Facebook, kids eating raw sukuma wiki from Kisii in a place called Nyatieko. Since I have that heart and I'm philanthropic, and anyway, God had already blessed us with the food and financially we were stable, I felt like it was right for me to go and rescue these kids, of which I did with the help of some friends. We brought the kids to the Kisii Referral Hospital. They stayed there for 3 months. During this period, I was the mother to these kids, babysitting them. Since their mother was not there, they only had their grandmom. I remember one day I was approached by a lady, and she told me, "Mom, can I assist you in raising these kids?" I told her it was okay. During our talk, the lady told me she is called Vena. So in my heart I was like, my late Vena is back again. The kids were eventually discharged and they were handed over to me. Through a WhatsApp group, I was approached by the director of Akina Ties, Madam Lillian Marwa, who wanted to have the kids since she has a rescue center. So I followed the rules. I took the kids back to the village. The chief was informed, and I handed the kids to Akina Ties. Now for Vena, the girl who helped me at the hospital, I felt it was good for me to appreciate her. And I appreciated her by giving her a job in our company. During that time, it was our company. I trained Vena in Kisii, and she was posted near Ururu, where she worked for 4 good months. The 5th month, she was transferred to Mombasa, whereby my sister, my younger sister, she is a regional manager. On 4th Feb February 2019, I received long messages from my husband, the director of the company, claiming that I wanted to kill him with the Sungu people. It's a notorious group from Kisii. That Vena was the chairman's daughter. Well, for me, I didn't know. I gave Vena a job because she helped me. I tried to argue out my case, but it didn't work. So investigations started. After writing a lot of statements at the CID Kisii, Vena's father came and proved that she was not part of the Sungu team. To date, I don't know why my own sister, my younger sister, whom I loved so much, whom I raised in my own house, decided to lie, decided to come up with a killing story. It's only her and the director who can tell us why they came up with this story, I mean killing story. Killing the man who married me, the man whom I've stayed with for 18 years. And not only that, the father of my children, the man who shaped me to be who I am today. I had no reason whatsoever to kill my husband. And from here to heaven, God knows that I've never thought of killing my husband. From there now, my life took a twist. I think because of money, I must say, or infidelity issues, maybe there was a mistake he was trying to cover that made him come up with this story. Killing allegations. Anyway, that was in Feb. Vena was sacked. I mean, I had no way to protect her. Whatever that I tried to prove landed on deaf ears. March, I received a lot of threats from my husband. He knows what he did to me on 29th December. He knows what he did. If he is listening, he knows. It's God, him and me, that we know. What he did on 29th December 2018 was not godly. And it is something, maybe later in life, I will forgive him, but I will never erase it from my heart. Sometimes we forgive and we don't erase things. It will torture me to death. And somebody said somewhere that there are no worse enemies than blood brothers. Through my experience, the worst enemy is your own blood. I'm not hurt that he's married. I'm not hurt he had other women, you know. But I'm hurt my blood relative, my own sister. My sister and I, anyway, maybe as time goes, I will forgive her, who knows, as time goes. But It's painful. It's painful. When you know that you suffered because of your own blood. Very painful. Very painful. I don't know whether she wanted to get married to him or I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why she chose to fight me this much. She's married, I'm married. So, I don't know why. I don't know why. Maybe she will get a chance. She will tell us the reason why she fought me this much. Remember, there is a time I found some chats. You know, now they were talking about me, and my sister was like, Chief amekuja, so they were referring me as Chief. Chief amekuja. As my own sister. Asking my husband, Chief amekuja, na ako kwangu. Maybe she has won. Maybe she never wanted me to be with my children. She never wanted me to get married. Okay, she has won. So what next? Now that she has won, I'm here. So what next? Is she happy? Okay, after being happy. So there were a lot of infidelity issues. A lot of infidelity issues. I remember there is a time a certain lady, a friend, a workmate, came to my home and told me point blank to my face, I've been having an affair with my husband. I didn't do anything anyway, since she was not the first one. But I must say that this lady kind of opened my eyes. She kind of opened my eyes. I remember her telling me, iko siku utamjua yeye ni nani. I remember that there is a time now that I wanted to spill the beans, like what is happening. I mean, what he did, it was unbelievable. My phones were taken by the Deputy County Commander, DCCIO of Kisii, for forensic investigations. So for me, I was like, now, since they have taken the phones, they're going to show whom I've been communicating with, the location, you know, because with the smartphone, they can show the location. But that was a plan, because I've never received those phones. I've gone to that office several times until that boss who took the phones was transferred. So I wonder why I was not arrested, since they took the phones and he had evidence that I wanted to kill him. As if that was not enough, he went, bought a banky, and then took it to the CID. And what did he say? Amepata hiyo banki kwa nyumba, nilikuwa nimemtega nayo, and it's like huwa ninavuta. I was called by the CID again. I went there. I was too emotional. But they listened to me. They did their investigation. And funny enough, he bought it and he decided to bring it as, as evidence, to plant some evidence to me. I don't know why he was doing all this. I don't know the reason why he never wanted to own up his mistake. I don't know the reason why. He's fighting me so much to cover his own mistake. I mean, your mistake is a mistake. Sometimes back, his nudes were all over in Kilimani Moms. Yeah, I was still married. That was in 2017. His photos were put in Kilimani Moms. I was in the front line, protecting him. And I even ensured that those photos were pulled down. While he was at home, I was here in Nairobi looking for that lady who posted those photos. That's the much I loved him. That's the much I protected his image. During that match, I moved out of the house now that he was threatening to kill me. He was saying, I normally bring men at home. I'm a drunkard. I'm not a drunkard. We had a bar in our house. Alcohol will expire there. I don't drink. But he decided to lie. With the intervention of his relatives, the priests, he refused to listen to any of them. So I was advised by the priest that the way he's raging, anything can happen. Just take a break from your marriage. Go to your parents or somewhere. Just take a break. Sadly, when I called my parents, my husband had already brainwashed them. He had already told them I'm a witch. So my parents listened to him more than to me. My family was divided. So I was left alone. April, I went to Nairobi to visit my kids. I was arrested on 16th as my children watched through the window. When I entered the gate, the house girl told me, Baba Kim alisema usikuje hapa, and I was like, why? Then when the kids saw me, I remember my son closing the window. So I walked straight to the servant quarter. Since we were not in good terms, I told the kids through the window to call him, of which they did. While at the servant quarter, I was approached by two men and a lady. I didn't know that they were policemen until when they introduced themselves. So they told me they've been ordered. They take me to the police station. I told them, this is my house, what have I done? And they were like, are you sure it is your house? So one of the policemen left, and then he came back now with my husband. I remember him asking him, is she the one? And he was like, fanyeni vile muliambiwa. So I knew that they were sent. So I was escorted to the Langata police station. On our way to Langata, I must say the policemen were so kind because they told me, pigia watu wenyu simu wenye wako karibu wakusaidie. So niliwapigia simu. I was taken to Langata. No OB was booked. I was taken into a room, locked there. Then later, a lady came. I guess she has a rank there. She asked me some questions. I remember her telling me in Swahili, kama umeachwa, si uende, ni nini unashikilia huyu bwana? Kama hakupendi achana na yeye. Enda ufanye maneno yako mengine. Si ako na watoto. And I was like, we only have issues and you are trying to iron them. The lady told me, we enda, hakutaki. I was very emotional because I never expected this from a lady, a police woman, and who doesn't know me. We are meeting for the first time. Instead of her maybe asking me what happened, she was my enemy for no reason. Thanks to my cousins who are policemen here in Nairobi, they came, demanded for an OB, which was not there. And thanks to the DCIO from Kisii, who by then had known what I was going through, called the OCS here in Nairobi, Lang'ata, and I was released. I went back to the house with my cousins to collect my bag. I met my husband standing at the gate. He gave me my bag, and my small girl was standing there. I think she thought, Mama is coming back. But she was pushed by the dad. When the dad saw my cousin's car, she pushed my daughter back to the gate. That was on 16th April when I saw my daughter. I will never see her again. I went back to Kisii, frustrated, feeling shattered, hopeless. And I felt like death was the only thing now I have. I called some nuns who came and comforted me. In May, I received a redundancy letter from the company that I worked for 10 good years. A company that I knew, I was part of it. I was served with a divorce case and a children's custody case. Now, all these cases, they were filed in Nairobi. No relative knew what was going on, because he was doing these things privately and he never wanted anybody to know. So whoever who tried to question him, he could do messages to me, bad messages, questioning me. Umewambia ndio wanifanyie nini? Kwani wao ndio walikuwa ama ni mimi? So at some point, I stopped talking with the relatives. Children custody cases started in July. I attended. Remember now that I'm not working, but I attended here in Milimani, Nairobi. I came, filed my defense, and I left. August, on 5th, divorce case also started. As I was coming to Nairobi, I lost my grandmom that night. I arrived at Milimani in the morning hours. I think because of the cry, my eyes were teary, so I could not read my name on the notice board. So later, around 10, I called my brother, and he told me, no, you take your time. Your name is there. Just take your time. So at around 11, my cousin came. And yes, when he read the notice board, my name was there, but it was in initials. So he went straight to the court where the case was. Apparently, the magistrate had already left. But I was told I was supposed to come in September. I don't know, for the second hearing. I don't know, whatever they call it. When I went back to Kisii, after the burial of my grandmom, I sank into depression. Thanks to the church, Nyabururu, priests, Sister Michaela nuns, who came to my rescue and took me to the convent, where I stayed from August until January under medication. You know, when you are depressed, it's like your brain is paused. You don't know what is good, what is bad. You cannot tell, you cannot differentiate like night and day. So you are just there. You are just there. And the worst experience, I think, it's those drugs. They make you feel more useless. You are more useless because you can't do anything. You are just there. So during this period, I cannot tell what I was doing. I can't tell. I cannot tell who visited me, who I was talking with. I cannot tell from August, must say August to December. I can't tell who I was. So in January 2020, I started looking for my family. During December, when I came back, like I used to have kids, I talked to my brother who texted me my husband's telephone number. So I did a text to him. I remember him asking me, now that you are divorced, you don't have a job, unafikiriaje maisha yako? As we were chatting, I didn't know that I'm divorced. So we kept on chatting. And then all of a sudden, he changed. He again started abusing me. So at that point, I had to put the phone off. January 2020, I went home. Now my dad was looking for me. We agreed to meet. I met my dad. We talked. Then I remembered I had kids whom I took to the rescue center. I went and visited the kids. Thanks, Akinata, because you were there for me. The kids I rescued finally gave me a home when I was homeless. Later, after 1 week, I met my dad. We talked, and I told my dad what I've been going through. With the help of my brother, whom I'm very close with, Duke. Duke explained to my dad every detail. March, my dad called my former husband so that we can have a sitting and talk, because whatever he's been telling my dad and what I told my dad, those were two different stories, but he refused. I remember him talking arrogantly to my dad. So in May, I told my dad, please, Dad, call my husband and ask him, the dowry he gave you, did he pay for me or for my younger sister? My dad was in shock, but he called him. And when he called him, he didn't respond. He went mute. After that was May. June, my dad fell sick. He sank into depression. And in July, he died. I lost the person who could have saved me, solve this riddle. The one person who listened to me and knew the real truth. That's how I lost my dad. But remember, my family was already divided. He had already divided our family. So the other side of my family, they said I'm the reason why my dad died. True. Yeah, I was the reason why he died, why he sank into depression. And after the burial, my daughter, the adopted daughter, called me and told me that now she was being harassed by the man she referred to dad. He ceased paying school fees for her, but thank God she picked herself up. She did her exam this year. She passed and she graduated. We thank God for that. The only thing right now is she doesn't have her papers. I'm told to pay the school fees that was paid for her during her first year and second year so that we can get our Form 4 certificate. Why help a person then later you demand the help? I wish you could have just left it other than now frustrating her. When we got married, he could tell me, oh, I used to have this girlfriend, I used to have this girlfriend. So for the 10 years I was in this company, his first girlfriend was working with us and I didn't know. And I know she's there to date. She was working with us and I didn't know. I must say that I was too forgiving, too lenient, and I kept on saying maybe he will change, maybe things will be better. And you know, with the church, you are just told to go and pray, things will be better. I never thought that the man I loved so much, the man who shaped me, the man whom we could sit and budget on what to do, talk about our future, talk about the future of our children, could divorce me and marry a lady whom I know so well. I'm well known to her parents. We were family friends. There are people I trained, there are people I recruited, there are people I helped so much who turned against me. A lot of people, they are there. They are there. Who have dark stories. They turned against me. Reason, they never wanted to lose their job. Reason, they had to protect the boss. So, my appeal, I want to see my children. I'm a mother. I gave back to my children. I gave back to my children. I tried through some lawyers, and the judgment was I had access to the children. Let him have the custody. But now, why are you denying me my children? They are the only thing I have. I don't think that I will give birth again. I don't think that I will get married again. But for him, can get married, he can have 100 kids. For me, the 3 children, I mean, that's my property. That's what I want. I just want to see my children. I want to guide my children. Those children, I mean, there are no things we can go to the market and we buy. I feel for my girl. What kind of woman is she going to be when she will grow up? What kind of woman is she going to be? I feel for my boys. What kind of husbands are they going to be when they grow up? Because right now, the kind of environment they are being raised in, they have been told a lot of stuff about their mom. I guess they think it is true. And then in future, that's how they are going to treat other women. Because these children, they are my best friends. We could dance together. I mean, my children never see me as their mother. They used to see me as their elder sister. My son, now after getting out of the convent, my son used to communicate with me. And when he got to know, he took his phone, and I think he threatened him. But then my son had already told me, Baba alituambia wewe ni mwenda wazimu. Ni kweli mama wewe ni mwenda wazimu? I mean, that was a difficult question for me to answer. Because at some point it was, yes, mimi ni mwenda wazimu. Because I couldn't tell, I can't tell who I was between August 2019 to December 2019. Yeah, maybe I was like, Baba alisema wewe ni mchawi. Tukikutana na wewe utaturoga. We will not prosper in our education. In fact, wewe ndio umekuwa ukifanya tunafaili mtihani. I don't know if that's how uchawi works. Like mtu unaroga your own kids. So how can I do that? And at the same time, I'm their teacher. At the same time, I'm the person who wants the best from them. I've never gone to any court. What I did, I went to the children's department in Kisii. And they advised me. Of course, they advised me to go to court. But with the past experience, there are things that I've seen he does. They pull me back. Like even if I go to court, maybe. He will still refuse. He will still refuse. He will still refuse. And he told me, hata ufanye nini, mimi tu ndio nitaamua watoto wakuone. Hata ufanye nini. If only he can allow me. to be part of raising those children, just to be part, just to be part, just to be part of raising those children. I'll not take them, but just to be part. Actually, I normally joke, like when people tell me that, I'm like, maybe the day I will see them, I'll die. I don't even love that energy, you know. Seeing them walking, maybe they are running to me. I just pray to get enough energy on that day. Because that will be the greatest moment in my life. Even if it's going to be like I see them, then I die, it will be okay for me. And yeah. I normally joke that kindly allow my children to see me, then I die. Yeah. As they see me, and then we saw our mom and she died. Better that way, you know, other than them staying blindly, I'm blind, and then they will be told, your mom died. You know. For divorce, the case took just 3 months. I never appeared in court because I was sick, sunk into depression. I was not given even a spoon, you know. So my 18 years was just like that. Like I never contributed in his life. I never contributed anything. My 18 years, he was an office man. I was always in the field. I was the donkey. I was the donkey running up and down, recruiting, training people, you know, taking care of things back at the village, building the homes. But now I'm here, homeless, and I must say childless, because I don't have even my kids. I don't know, maybe that's what the law says. I don't know, I'm not a lawyer. But when we are Christians, laws aside, when we are Christians, does it mean for 18 years I did not contribute anything in his life? Then indeed, if I did not contribute anything, let him give me my children. How can I contribute children and I did not contribute anything in building him up? You start from zero with a person. The moment wealth starts raining on you, you forget the person whom you started life with at first. If you feel that maybe I wronged you and I didn't know, because sometimes you can wrong a person without knowing, I ask for forgiveness. What you've taken me through, it's enough. It's enough. Stop torturing me. Stop tormenting me. You've done it. You've won. Now let it be. You've won. Let it be. But allow me to see my children. Those children have my blood. If you hate me, then you hate the children. If you don't want to see me, then you don't want to see the children. Chase them away. Why keep the children of a witch, of a killer, schemer? Oh, why? To my children, know that your girlfriend loves you so much. With all the sins said, only believe that one day you will grow and understand all that I went through. I hope that I will meet you soon before I leave this world. My prayer is to see my children before I leave this world. Niwaone tu, nitosheke. Hata kama nitawaona leo, nitosheke, nijue mko sawa. That is it. Just want to see them, even if it's once a year. Just want to see my children. Even if it's for 2 minutes, I want to see my children. I want to see my children.